Friday, and I forgot to add my microphone today, so I'm a little out of sorts, so sorry about that. But welcome to Friday Fun. I so missed seeing everybody. Get my tissue over here. I so missed seeing everybody last week. As you may have known, or I posted, I had some minor surgery right up here on my head. I'm not gonna show you all my beautiful scar, but I'm gonna talk about it in a little bit. But it was minor surgery, but it took a week away from me. So thank you so much for your prayers and everything. I just so was very touched by your concern. I really appreciate that, more than I can say with words. I've got my tissue here. We've got some really fun things to talk about today. And let me just go ahead and jump in. I just want to say hey to you all because you're the main reason why I do this. And I just really missed seeing you. Hi, Joni. So good to see you first in the chat today. Thank you for your well wishes. And you do have a question. What is sports weight yarn? And the other question is fingering weight. These are excellent questions. And basically, there are different weights of yarn, and the bigger the number, for example, I have this. I'm working on a video that it goes into a lot of depth. In fact, I was working on taking photographs of some of these yarns under a microscope yesterday just to show you the difference, measuring them. I bought a micrometer so that you can measure the actual width. Um, there are yarns as big as this. This is a number 7, I believe. Does it have a number 7? Does it have the number? Yes, it is a number 7. You see that number 7? Okay. This is one of the biggest yarns that you can get, other than just buying really thick roving yarn that you usually spin. Normally, we use yarn like this for a lot of what we use. This is a number 4 weight yarn, and it has other names too. Like we also call this worsted weight, or some people call this Aran weight. This is just kind of the standard basic yarn that you start out with. Most people start out using this kind of yarn. Well, a number 2 weight the number 2 is what we give to sport weight yarn. So it's basically much thinner, and I don't have my Craft Yarn Council definition, but I could give you the micrometer range of that, but it's basically thinner yarn. Number 3 weight yarn is thinner than number 4, etc. And fingering weight is actually a number 1. Do I have fingering weight? I have a lot of fingering weight. But some of the designs that I'm working on currently or have completed, like for example, this is made with a fingering weight yarn. It's just much thinner. It's the yarn that people like to use when making socks. So I am working on that video. I am also getting ready to do some serving down south with family, so it may be a while before that one gets out. I was hoping to get that out in the next week or two, but it looks like that may be delayed a bit. So it's just an informational thing, but that's what it is. So what you can do is just look for that little number. It looks like a ball of yarn, that little number right there. If you just look for that on the balls of yarn, and that'll tell you what weight it is. And if you see a number 1, that's generally what they call fingering weight or soft weight yarn. And a lot of times, depending on the manufacturer, they may give it different names. So you just kind of have to learn. Just like some people call me Bonnie, some people call me Mom. I answer to lots of different things, and just like the yarn, they have different names depending on the context and depending on the country you're in. They can even vary. So, but anyway, that's a great question to start the day off with here. Let me go ahead and try to say hey to some more of you. Alana, good morning to you. So glad that you could be here. And Dawn from Yankton, South Dakota. She says, very cold here. We had more snow yesterday. Hold on a second. I'm getting a little distracted. There we go. We had more snow yesterday and through the night. I'm ready for spring. Well, Dawn, I don't know if I should tell you this, but I was driving around with the Miata top down yesterday because it was in the mid 70s here, and it has been cold prior to that. The day before, we had sleet falling from the sky, and I knew that yesterday was going to be very warm, so I just planned to do my errands yesterday, and I just wanted to get out in the sun and get warmed up, and had just a fun time just driving around. Didn't drive as far as I really wanted to because my energy level is still not where it needs to be. So I have all the excuses I need to sit, crochet, enjoy a fun movie here and there. So I am not poo-pooing that at all. I enjoy doing that, and I have no reason to feel guilty doing it as I was resting this week. So, um, but yesterday I did want to get out, and I did a little drive to my friend's house to give her a box of things I'd been saving, and almost went to Joann's, but decided no, I'm gonna be pushing my luck if I did that. So I decided to stay here to come right back home. But really good day. Red Hook, so good to see you in the chat. She says, glad you're doing better today. We went from 72 yesterday to 28 as of 11 a.m. Gotta love this crazy weather. Yeah, I think they call it early spring weather. And tomorrow I'm getting ready to hit the road for about 8 to 9 hours. Hope it's more like 8, not 9 hours, heading south. And there is snow in the forecast here. So I'm hoping to beat the snow out of town and just go drive south and get to that warmer climate, hoping that, I don't hit any ice or anything along the way. So yeah, it's zigzagging back and forth here with the weather too. But I'm not going to complain about it. I love those warm days. And Miss Wanda Gordon, so good to see you from Bahama, North Carolina. And thank you for your prayers. Yeah, doing much better, doing much better. Just to let you know too, the surgery came up kind of suddenly because this was originally scheduled for mid March, but then they had an opening and they said, you want to come in tomorrow? And I'm like, not really, but I will. So that kind of threw everything off. That's why I didn't really let you all know last week, because I didn't know last week that was going to be happening, or 2 weeks ago. Anyway, um, wow. And Wanda says it's 68 down there. Hey, that sounds good. I'll be driving through, driving near your neck of the woods tomorrow, Wanda. Looking forward to that. And Marie, so good to see you, my South Carolina friend. And well, Red Hook says it's trying to snow there. It was 70 yesterday. They dropped 40 degrees overnight. Yeah, just this massive front that's moving across the country. And Wanda says the temperature is supposed to drop on Saturday with rain. Oh, I hope that rain. I hope I don't run into all that rain tomorrow, Wanda. Yeah, I wish I could change that, but I'm not in charge of the weather, so. Um, Kelly, I hope you feel okay tomorrow. I hope that the weather doesn't bother you too much, but I understand that one. I'm understanding it more. Um, and Kelly wants to know, is that blanket next to the bobble stitch blanket on the tutorial? I'm going to be talking about these in just a bit, Kelly. I'm going to explain that. Um, but well, let me go ahead and talk about that since she's asking already. This is this was just released this week, and it's doing really well on the channel, guys. So thank you so much for doing that. This is the Celtic Star baby blanket, and it's basically the Celtic weave stitch worked in the round. Although this is a square, we say we crochet it by going around. And this was just extra yarn that I had in my stash from another project a few years ago, and I thought, I think I have enough for a baby blanket, and sure enough I did. You can always just make this larger by just keeping it going. If you want to make this for an adult blanket or a lap blanket, you can. You just keep going around and around and around. It's as easy as that. It's finished with the eyelet. I didn't want anything too fancy on the finish because I didn't want it to compete with the Celtic weave. But you can always finish these blankets with any kind of finishing. So anyway, the Celtic Star baby blanket is, yes, this is on the YouTube channel. Um, the other two blankets are, this is the basket weave lap blanket, and you know the winter white throw behind me here, that one. Is doing really, really exceptionally well. Thank you guys for supporting me in that, and I think I'm getting new subscribers because of this one. This one is like over 100, and it's in the 177,000 views, and that's a lot for my channel. So thank you. This one will be released in the spring, a little bit later. This is the Abigail baby blanket. And as you remember, we had the Abigail scarf, and I made it in a lot of different ways with a lot of different yarn. And I had a few people contact me and say, "Can't you just make that into a baby blanket?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I could." And so I saw this yarn at Joann's and brought it home. And this is the baby mandala yarn by Red Heart Yarns, and they have a lot of different colorways. And I only used two, and just by going around and around, and I did not I manipulated the colors a little bit when I started the second cake. I wanted to make sure that it was in keeping with the same pattern, the color scheme. So I did take a little bit off of that, but this is only, I believe, only two cakes of yarn. So if you go for a sale, you're talking, you know, a $10 project or less, depending on what kind of a sale you can hit at the yarn stores. And Michael's has been having, I'm not Michael's, Joann's has been having some pretty nice sales there. So this is coming very soon. As soon as I finish, I just got the tech edits back from my tech editor. And as soon as I can, I'm going to try to have this one up on the watch channel by the weekend for my watch subscribers. If not by the weekend, it'll probably be during the week, next week early. But this is, I think, going to be scheduled for some time in March or April, probably late March, early April, um, for this particular design. But as part of the benefits of being a watch subscriber, this is a channel that many of you know, I talk about this sub. It's $6.95 a month or $69.50 a year, which is a bit of a 2-month charge savings. You can watch my best content on YouTube and some exclusive content that is only available on the watch channel. And it's commercial free, it's ad free, spam free. It's a pretty nice, what's the word? Resolution. And you also get, of the patterns where I own the copyright, and this is one of them, you would just get a complimentary pattern whenever I upload something new. And like I said before, I'm going to try to give early access as often as I can. In fact, I finished a brand new design. I can't show it to you yet. I'm really, really excited about it because it's 100% baby alpaca from Cascade Yarns. They have this pure alpaca yarn. It's a light worsted weight yarn, and takes 10 hanks. It's a lot. But I finished another poncho, and it's with the Celtic design. And I don't even have a name for it yet, so I can't even show you because I don't have a name for it yet. And I'm trying to figure that one out. But as soon as I get it written, edited, tech edited, and back from my editor, I am going to put that up on my watch channel. It's going to be exclusive content for you guys. And I'm still deciding whether I'm going to go public with it in the fall or not. I may not. I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to have to wait and see on that one. But I can't wait to show it to you. It's a really nice fall color. And let me get back to talking to you guys because I don't want to get carried away here. So I hope that answers your question, Kelly. I went through a lot of stuff there that I kind of was going to say, but I'm glad I got it done because I know a lot of you don't have a lot of time to wait. And you guys are talking about the weather there. I'm going to just skip over some of that, if you don't mind. Jacqueline LaFridge is in the chat. She said, "Good morning, everyone. It is raining bad in Los Angeles. Wow, great, right? Great for staying in and crocheting. Worst storm here in over 20 years. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you guys are okay. I know you tend to not get rain, and then when you do, you get mudslides and stuff. I hope things are okay with you guys. I know you can always use the rain too. Um, and Red Hook says, I need to do the snowbird thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, and I just got a lot of comments. Load here. Let me. Ah, I'm so far behind. I just had just like 100 comments load. You guys are active today, and that's wonderful. Hannah, thank you so much for being there, girl. Um, and she's sending me some questions too, and I'll get to those in just a minute. Oh, and Anna wants to know what pattern is my poncho. Oh, thank you, Anna. Um, this is the Arrow poncho. This has not been released yet. This will be released in a few weeks. Okay, it's coming. It's coming soon. It's one of those, I need to finish up the edits, and as soon as that's ready, it will be released. This is a very, very easy. It's two panels, two rectangles put together, and it's really nice. It's really soft and fuzzy yarn too. But with these, you can use any yarn you want. This could also be a really good stash buster. But it's the Arrow. It's the Arrow poncho. It again. It's coming soon. I'm teasing you guys a little bit by wearing it. But I thought it would go better with what I was wearing than something else that I had earlier. But thank you. And oh, it says Tama Lynn. I'm sorry. Okay, got it, Hannah. Got it. Tama Lynn. Um, all right, so from Liz, she says, Bonnie, I'm new at crocheting. Can you use a number 4 weight yarn for a baby blanket? They seem to come out really heavy. It, I tell you what you do, Liz. You can use anything you want for a baby blanket. If you want to use number 4 weight, and if it's a little heavy, um, if you don't mind that, it's not a problem. You can use any weight yarn, honestly, and I've used everything from fingering weight to chunky, the number 5 weight yarn on baby blankets. Um, if you do upsize or use a larger yarn than what the pattern calls for, just be sure you upsize your crochet hook, because that'll help to give your crochet fabric a little bit more drape. Because if you um, I hope I'm not talking down to you. I'm not intending to at all, because I know sometimes people, we will see especially new crocheters will see the hook size and think that that's written in stone. And I'm here to say, you use whatever hook size you need to make the fabric that you like, especially for blankets, because where that's not as gauge specific, um, definitely upsize that hook, and just experiment with it. And once you I mean, but if you wanted to get a lighter weight, you can. It really depends on the pattern, and even more so just what you prefer. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question, Liz. Um. All right. Oh, we have Joe Baker. This is finally woohoo! Finally caught alive. Well, welcome. So glad you caught us too. Um. And let's see. We have April in the chat. Thank you for your sweet comment, April. And Sandra, she says, love that popcorn shawl. Yeah, this is coming later. I don't have the dates with me just yet. I'm a little off on that this week, but this is coming in a few weeks to a month or so to our YouTube channel. I believe it's already on the Watch channel, and the pattern is available. Yes, this is on the Watch channel. So my Watch subscribers have access to this. It's also available as a pattern, as a PDF in my Lovecraft store, and I do have the links in the video description below. And to get to that video description, you just hit the show more on the little words below the screen, and it'll open up a lot of stuff that I've added. So yeah, this is an asymmetrical poncho, and it's a wraparound. I'm sure it looks really funny with this poncho, but it's really fun. You can get out your shawl pins, or maybe the jewel design connectors, whatever you want to use. You can also wear this as a shawl. It does use specialty yarn though, that is specially dyed for this. Um, they call it planned pooling yarn. So if you don't like the colors of the yarn, that I have recommended in the video description for this. You can go on Etsy and look for planned pulling yarns, but definitely you may want to wait until the video comes out, or if you buy the pattern, you can watch the video with the video link, because that is included in the pattern purchase, even though it hasn't been released yet on YouTube. But I would definitely watch it, and because I do explain how the yarn is dyed, and I show what it looks like so that you understand what makes this yarn so special, and how it's dyed. But it is really fun to work with. So thanks for that comment, Sandra. And we have Christine and Christine Ashley. So glad that you can join us, Christine. And Chandra. What a beautiful name. I love all these names. And is it Shauna Marie? Says good morning from North Washington State. Freezing cold right now, and I'm making your cabled headband for a friend. Ooh, wow, yeah. And I know that weather is coming my way. um, wow. Well, I hope you stay warm there. And Stephanie said she completed the Erin Heart's throw before Valentine's, and it is beautiful. Thank you for all of your creations. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm so glad that worked out for you. That was actually one of my first times before the camera doing a complete tutorial. So if I look pretty green in that, it's probably because I was, and just a little awkward back in those days, but that's still one of my favorites. And Not the End. Love that name. So good to have you in the chat. KNOT for not. I love that. And Diana, she says, hello everyone. Please everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you. And we have Margita from Sweden. So good to see you in the chat. And Denise and Mandy from the UK. And Donna from sunny Ohio. And Terry, so good to see you in the chat. I've got I think you're right, Terry. I've got that bag I'm taking with me south. I'm going to be taking my that bag that we promoted the other week or so ago. And Not the End is from Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Wow. I'm guessing that's kind of west of, I know it's west of 95, but I'm wondering how far west that is. Now, I'll have to look that up on the map. I'll wave as I go by tomorrow. And Denise is from Windsor, Ontario. Wow. And we have Phil in the chat. And thank you for your comment, Julie. Thank you, Liz. She wants to know how I'm doing. Yeah, doing much better. About 85% back. Not 100% yet. So I still have every excuse to take it easy. The doctor said don't let your heart rate get above a certain, don't do exercise, don't do any of that. So I was very compliant with that this week. So I'm okay with that. And all that is to mostly control bleeding, which is pretty prominent in the head area. So yeah, but doing well. It was really nice. Yesterday was the first day I woke up and my eyes weren't swollen from the excess fluids. So that was kind of nice that I could open my eyelids without them feeling like they were like 5 pounds each. So yeah, it was a lot more than what I anticipated. I thought this was going to be just go in and go out and play tennis the next day. I'm joking about that, but it was a little more intense than what I had signed up for. So let me go ahead. I think I've caught. We have Betty Gardner. Hey, Betty, and Dawn, and let's see. Make sure. Oh, and Cynthia from Chile, Illinois. Wow, she says it's just hit 20 degrees here. I feel like a heat wave. Wow, and coming out of an ice storm. Oh, yikes. Sun without power for 2 days. Oh, that sounds cold. And Cindy Lyman says, sounds like I'm the lucky one with sunny skies and mid-60s temps. Hope everyone is well enjoying some crochet time. Woo. And Sheila says she's in Brooklyn where it's 42 degrees and windy. Yeah, the wind has subsided here, but an hour or so before I went live, the wind was intense here. It was you could hear the siding blowing in and out on our house, and the windows even. You can feel the air pressure coming in and going. It's kind of like what it is in Brooklyn. That's about what it is here right now. Sheila, kind of, you're about 4 hours south of you, so but it's still pretty, it was windy and chilly. Um, all right, so I'm gonna go down here, and I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Uh, oh, I have to read these to you. I had made a list of when you go out and about after having surgery. I had this big old bandage I had to keep up on my head because there were like stitches across, and they're like 2 layers of stitches. I know you probably don't need that kind of information, but so I'm going to have a bump there for a while until the stitches in the under layer also are absorbed. But I had to wear this big bandage for like a week. And so you go and you kind of get these strange looks from people, and you get lots of questions. So I asked my kids to help me, you know, what can I say in response? And here's some of the answers we came up with. And this first one reminds me of my mom. She used to always say this. She said, when someone said, "What happened?" Well, why do you have that bandage? And she would just say, "You should see the other guy. You should see what I did to the other guy." So I thought, yeah, that's pretty funny. And to be honest, my answer to that, when I was coming home and someone asked, what happened, and I said my surgeon carved her initials in my head, which is really what it felt like. Um, at church, somebody asked us, what happened, and I said, well, I've got the mark of the beast this week. I know that's probably not as funny to some people out there, but I said, yeah, it's all the rage now. Oh, so kidding. I told somebody else, oh yeah, it's my new tattoo. Okay. Um, and another, I thought about that. I thought, well, what would I say as a crafter? I said, well, I was in the yarn store the other day and this big fight broke out over this skein of yarn, but I got the yarn. Okay, may that never be, right? Here's another possible response. It's my new brain microchip. Okay, some people might not find that funny. Another possible answer, it's my upgraded operating system. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? I get a faster brain. Oh, if it all were only that easy. Another possible answer, I was thinking of Hannah and this spy thing that we had going on about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I could say, well, I was out swimming in the Atlantic near Myrtle Beach, and this big balloon popped overhead, and I was in the wrong place. Oh, okay. And actually, Hannah did see that pass over the house where she is, so that was pretty amazing, or pretty eventful, I should say. Um, anyway, if you got a better response, let me know. I would love to hear what you respond to people when, you get something strange and people want to ask. And yeah. Oh, thank you, Susan. Thank you for your kind super chat there. Susan, thank you so much. You have bumped this up to let me write this down in my little notes here where I kind of like my online brain. So we are up to $90. Thank you so much, Susan. So for those of you who don't know, who are new to our chat, whenever we hit the $100 mark, which we have done a lot this year, which is really, really great. As I'm going over tax information, we've really been able to donate a lot of money this year because of you guys. So thank you so much. But whenever we hit 100, I will try to come up with a song, either on a flute or a whistle or a guitar parody song. We take a really good song and we ruin it with crochet lyrics. It's just something that we like to do. I like to do. Call me a frustrated musician, if you will, but I'm okay with that. But thank you so much. This month's or this next donation will be going to the Rancho 3M, which is an orphanage and a Christian school on the border between El Paso and it's actually in Juarez, just across the border from 30 minutes or so from El Paso. Um, so so yeah, it's a really wonderful work and a needed work. All right, so Hannah's sending me some more questions. Regina Smith would like to know how the Celtic weave works. Well, Regina, I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel. if you go to my home page and you click on playlist, and once you get there, there is an Aaron Celtic stitch playlist. There's one for right-handed, one for left-handed. Just click the one you need, and or you can just Google. I'll go to my homepage and just do a search for Celtic weave, and you'll have a couple of videos come up. There are a couple different ways to work it, whether you're working it in rows, going back and forth, or if you're working it in the round, like I showed with the Celtic Star baby blanket. So it's a tricky stitch. It's one of my original stitches that I came up with back in 2008, 2009, and first published in 2009, 2010 with Leisure Arts. If anyone want to verify that, I've been questioned on that. People are like, "Yeah, right." No, go look it up. Do the research. It's there. Actually, it's right here. The first, yeah, the first time it was ever used was in this design, and this is the Aran Afghans to crochet. And thank you guys. This has sold out with Leisure Arts, and they had to replenish the supply, and they have, and it's there. So thank you all for supporting me and for proving to Leisure Arts that I was right, that they needed to bring this one back. But if you wanted to take a look at those videos, Regina, I think that's the best way. I know with the Celtic weave with the baby blanket, you have to really follow that video. The video is uploaded. Um, it's a little bit different with the corners, the way I expand the Celtic weave. So it's different when you're adding and going in the round versus just keeping it up straight. So it's two different. They're slightly different techniques, but the videos I think will make that clear. May Campbell, hey, first timer, welcome, May. I love that name. My first daughter, middle name is May, spelled the same way after my husband's grandmother, which was an amazing woman. That's such a great name. And she wants to know, do you have any patterns that a beginner could do? I want to make a blanket. I have a lot of baby blankets for beginners. I'm trying to think if I have beginner. I mean, I do have some easy blankets, but a lot of my Afghans tend to be more intermediate. But I do have a few. I would just look in the beginner list. Again, there's a playlist. If you go to my homepage and click on the playlist, there's a beginner playlist, and I've got a lot of stuff in there, and there are some blankets in there. The easy beginner baby blankets might be an even better way to start out if you're an absolute beginner, because it's a smaller project, and if it's one that you're not crazy about, it won't last as long, if that makes sense. Um, or you can just contact me, bonniebay@me.com, and we can have a conversation on email if you want me to give you the specifics and links that way. Um, but welcome. I'm so glad that you can be here. Um, yeah, and I have a brand new, where is it? I have a brand new beginner. Let me go ahead and, here we go. Okay, I got both of them right here. There are actually 2 books of these patterns, but all the videos are on my YouTube channel. So we have an absolute beginner book, and it has many different patterns. And these are all the textures that are in this book that are for beginners. Even though the one on top is at the back of the book, they kind of go from the front easiest to the more complex. But that said, I'm of the mindset that I don't think beginners should have to, make the same design for 15 years or whatever before they move on. I think it's fun to get in there and make mistakes, get messy, but learn some new stitches. I think it's much more fun that way in the long run. All right, Hannah's sending me another questions. From Jody, says, any tricks to mastering the knurl stitch? Ugh, I feel you. I've tried and tried. I can do it in the full stitch, but for some reason I can't get it in the front loop properly. I would say watch the video, maybe even slow the video down on that stitch video. Um, I think I think what you're running into is it's new muscle memory for your hand, having to go up, or maybe just try poking the hook straight up into that first loop. I think that's a tricky stitch. It's one of my favorites, and I will tell you honestly, that's the stitch that I do the slowest of any of my knitting or crocheting is the knurl stitch, going from the opposite instead of going from right to left for right-handers. I'm speaking, it'd be the opposite for left-handers, but instead you're going from left to right. You're going the opposite direction. You're going clockwise instead of counterclockwise in the stitches. Um, you just have to work with it and practice it, and just know that it's going to be a slow go for a while. But I think once you understand it and once you get started, it will eventually come into play. If you're, I will say that if you're a more seasoned crocheter, you're probably going to have more trouble with it. I've taught that to beginners and they've had no issues with it, whereas people who've been crocheting a long time, and I think the reason is your muscle memory is pretty set. Excuse me. But seasoned crocheters are going to have more trouble with that. Just know that, and just um, I think you just have to take it slow and just keep trying. You will get it eventually. I do have a couple of videos. I have a newer video on my channel. So if you just go to my homepage and in that little search bar with the little spyglass thing in it, just put knurl and the it'll come up and you can see that. But yeah, I use that a lot to connect my squares too. I think it's a great way to connect and add texture. Hannah, you're doing a fantastic job, girl. She's sending me more questions. What time is it? Oops, it's at 12:37. Um, and Sheila wants to know, do you know what classes you are teaching at the interweave meeting in Lancaster in August? Planning my schedule. Thanks. Oh, thank you, Sheila. Um, I I'm gonna wait on that until the contract has been firmly signed before I give you the details. But there are 8 new classes. Wait a minute, there are 8 classes. I can say that one of them is I Love Cables class, the class I taught last year, as well as the bold cables, big and bold cables, crochet cables. Um, and I'll be teaching a beginning crochet class, I think, for absolute beginners. I think that's correct. And there are a bunch of others. So there's also, well, I will mention the design your own scarf, design your own triangular scarf. Yeah, I think that's right. And I think I do cover asymmetrical in there as well, but it's going to be, yeah, some similar to last year, but there are going to be some brand new ones that I have not even fully fleshed out yet, but I have them up here. So I'm really looking forward to that. And some of these classes are not cable oriented. They're going into just slightly different directions. So I think that it'll maybe get new people out there interested, and people who don't get into cables a lot. There'll be some other options that I'll be teaching as well. Uh, Robin says, I just finished your plated poncho wrap. Do you recommend blocking? Um, I'm trying to think which plated wrap that is. I can't bring it to mind, but generally, Robin, I haven't had to do a lot of blocking for the ponchos. If you're using the recommended yarns that I use, excuse me, some things I definitely recommend blocking. If you're using, like if you're using merino, merino wool or wool of any kind, and I love blocking shawls, and especially if they have an edging. Anything I make with mohair, I definitely block because the blocking process just gives it an added dimension of definition with the stitches. It's just amazing. I have, like, right here. Here's this is the Liberty shawl. Let me show you the front side facing. And this is mohair silk blend, but look at the edging. I mean, the edging didn't look half as good as that before I blocked it. And, even though being blocked, I can just ball it up and just put it somewhere. Although I recommend folding it, but, even packing it in a suitcase doesn't diminish the effects of blocking mohair. And I was astounded to find that out. You can just see how crisp, even now, this has been just kind of draping over here, and I've packed it into suitcases a couple of times and traveled with that um, after I blocked it. And you can't tell. It's once you block certain fibers, it's great. I didn't block this one. This is acrylic, and because of the poncho too, there's usually so much weight in the yarn itself that it will take care of the blocking. It's not going to be as important as it would be in other items, if that makes sense. But generally scarves, even straight scarves, I like to block them. Uh, Scarves, uh, yeah, especially things with natural fibers. But if it's acrylic, it doesn't. In my experience, it doesn't require it as much, if that makes sense. Um, from Susan AB, do you apply for a patent if you design a crochet pattern? No, no, because I think that's different, but I do have a copyright. I don't apply for that per se, um, but all you need to do is, you know, put that information with your work. Um, and like I guess when I have published, and they are protected by that. But in particular, things that are in books have like an added dimension of protection. It still doesn't keep people from stealing the work. I've had entire books that were professionally published by, well, my publisher is now Penguin Random House, but it used to be Interweave FNW Media, and entire books have been compromised online by thieves, but all of that is illegal and against the law. But like when you self-publish, like a lot of these books I showed you here are self-published through Amazon. I mean, they are copyright protected through Amazon. Of course, you know, you can. Um, so I hope that makes sense. I think a patent is more designed for an invention of something that you're going to manufacture. Um, but that is a good question. Yeah, probably a little more technical than what I'm, used to answering. Um, I've got. Oh, well, let me show you something else. I posted this on Facebook a few weeks ago. I posted one of my posts that went crazy was posting a picture of this complete empty crochet hook aisle. I was looking for crochet hooks for my beginners, and when I needed them, I couldn't find them anywhere. So I just scrounged and got some extra hooks from what I could find here and there. Um, Went to the store, of course, after my class, 2-week class wound up. It's all done, and I go to the store and I found lots of these. So there were 3 of these sets left, and Joann's had this coupons. I think I got like 40% off of this. So, it turned out to less than $2 a hook in this packet. So I was just real happy. Just wanted to show you. No, this is not a paid endorsement. I don't get any money from the company that owns Susan Bates Hooks. I just I share with you what I love, and you know that. I don't force things to say, oh, you got to have this, because I know everybody has their own preferences, and I respect that. Okay. But anyway, I was just really happy. I got an extra set of hooks when the inevitable happens, when my couch eats one, or one gets lost, or whatever happens, or whatever, that monster that eats the hooks in our house. So anyway, let me try to get to some more of you guys. Thank you again, Hannah, for sending me all those questions. I mean, I am way behind. Let's see. Okay. Oh, we have Camper 14. She says, it's been a while since I've been on live. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. That's so great. I wonder, do Do you camp out a lot? I'm wondering if you're one of those RVers, going around the country. Um, Thank you, Diana, for your kind words there. I so appreciate that. And Swati, it's so good to see you in the chat if you're still there. She says, got a conflicting work meeting, but wanted to say a quick hello to everyone. Happy Friday from a very rainy LA. Hope y'all are well. Well, so good to see you. You're probably off to your meeting by now, but yeah, it's so great that you could join us even for a little while. And oh, Jay Liz, okay, first time from California. Thanks for letting me know that. Wow. And Becky Blake. She said, I wish we would get snow here in Maryland. Ah, yeah. I wouldn't mind. I would love it if Hannah could get some snow when she's visiting home because she'll be coming home this week. But I'd be happy if the snow would wait until I get out off the road. But yeah, I was looking at some pictures from 8 years ago. 8 years ago, we had like 5 or 6 feet of snow piled up in our front yard from having shoveled out the driveway. Whew, it was a lot. And Denise says, I think I have finally decided on the pattern for my son's Irish flag Afghan. I am planning on using your winter white throw. Ooh, huh. That might be really cool looking. That 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 might be kind of nice, Denise. Definitely send me a picture of that when you finish it. I would love to share that with others. And we have Saritha from Arkansas. Wow. Thank you for joining us today. And hi, Diane Sharp. So good to see you in the chat. And April, she says, I'm from the South and we don't get much snow here in South Carolina. You know what, April, you're right. But let me tell you a funny story. The first time I ever saw snow coming down out of the sky, I mean, the first time I saw snow on the ground was during a band trip to Madrid, Spain, up into the mountains there. It was pretty wild. All these Florida kids having a snowball fight on the top of a mountain somewhere near Madrid. Amazing. But the first time I actually saw it coming down was in Columbia, South Carolina, when I was going to school there back in the dark ages, back in the 80s, very early 80s actually. So yeah, so I know you don't get much, and the only time I had a white Christmas was in Myrtle Beach in 1980. Was it 90 or 89? It was 89. I think it was. Yeah, it was 89. It was the winter that the nor'easters stayed off the coast, and Myrtle Beach. We had 15 inches of snow in Conway, and that's the only white Christmas I've ever experienced. So isn't that funny? Because yeah, you're right. We don't get much snow in South Carolina, but those are the two monumental marks in my life regarding snow. We're in South Carolina. So anyway, just some nostalgia. Just I thought I'd share with you, April. Um, of course, I've shoveled more than my fair share of snow up here in Maryland. And as I used to tell people when I was living in South Florida, it was a dream to see snow. I dreamed of this as a kid, to have a horse, a pool, and snow. I mean, those are my three things I wanted out of life, but never got the horse or the pool. But the snow thing has been fulfilled. I'm good. So yeah, we're happy. We're happy with the snow. I'm okay to go back to not so much snow, but anyway. And we have the beach girl from New York City. Whew, I bet the beach girl is cold today. um, and we have Leslie. She says, I'm going to make the winter white throw as soon as the yarn arrives. I hope you enjoy that one, Leslie. I I enjoy doing this one again. It's been so many years since I've made this, but it was fun doing the videos. I'd like to do another one actually, but we'll see. We have Jody. She says, first time making a live chat, currently working on the Celtic mandala throw. Well, it was so good to have you, Jody. I hope we're still friends after the Celtic mandala throw. Some people have loved that pattern, and some people have wanted to take me out back and shoot me. But so I hope we're the former. I hope you really enjoy that one. But anyway, it is definitely a challenging project. Just know that you're in this. You're swimming in the deep end of the pool with that particular design. And I think a lot of people didn't realize that, and they just expect it to be easy breezy, and um, it wasn't. I had to redo it 3 times when I was designing it. So, but I was happy with the way it came out. We have Randy W says good morning from Silver Spring. Yes, yesterday was beautiful. We have the crocuses and some lily of the valley in bloom. Wow. Yeah. Well, hello, cross town neighbor. Um, yeah, I've been over your neck of the woods many times. It's kind of funny you mentioned the crocuses coming up, these beautiful little purple flowers. Where Hannah is, the daffodils are in full bloom, and I can't wait to see that. So I hope and they're really hardy flowers. They will survive even a freeze. So I'm looking forward to seeing all those pretty daffodils, and I'll send you guys some pictures once I get there. Um, and yeah, Hannah's telling April that, yep, currently staying in South Carolina, and this Maryland girl would like a small bit of snow before the spring comes. Yeah, I think you might get your wish, Hannah. Be careful what you wish for. The shovels are in the basement when you get here. Um, oh, thank you, not the end. She says, big fan of your work. Did your easy granny ripple as a birthstone blanket. It turned out great. Wow, what a great idea. Um, you know what I'm thinking of too with um, that throw. I'd like to do something. Well, I'll keep my idea to myself. I will show you in a video. Okay, I want to make another kind of an ombre, long striping ombre blanket, and I think I'll try to work on an easy beginner full size blanket for you guys in the future. Hopefully by the summer. Um, I just found some yarn that I think would be great for that, and very affordable. Just to let you know. But it's so good to have you here. Not the end. And we have Anna. She says hi from is it Cheadle, if I'm saying that right, near Manchester in UK. Can I ask what pattern your poncho is? Oh, thank you, Anna. Did I already read that? I may have already read that question, but this is the arrow um, poncho. It has not been released yet. Okay, I am very close, this close to releasing the design, and but it will be coming to the YouTube channel in a few weeks. So if you just hang on a few weeks, it'll be there. It's very very easy. Okay, I'm not gonna probably not gonna get to all the questions, but I got to show you this, guys, while I'm in good spirits and not terribly emotional. Look what I finished this week. This was in my stash, and I've been keeping it in my stash a long time. And I got out my knitting needles, and I finally made this. And it was a kit. They don't make these anymore. It was by a company called DMC, and I bought this at Michael's, I think on clearance. I don't know why they stopped making these. These are so cute. It's just an acrylic hat, but it comes with this little topper. And I think I have enough left over to knit another baby cap. And just to let you guys know, if you have ever wanted to learn how to knit, I do have beginning knit videos. Not a ton of them, but I do have very beginning knit videos. And the knitting style that I do is called Continental Method, and it's very similar to crocheting. So if you've ever tried and failed, and trust me, I did that for like 30, 40 years. I tried a few times and it just wasn't for me. I just thought, nope, can't do it, not going to do it, I'm not going to worry about it. Then I learned a continental style from my friend Lana at So Original Yarn Store, which is in Columbia, Maryland. She sat me down and she says, I'm going to make you do this. So she made me learn. And I couldn't be more thankful to her for doing that, because I learned it's actually easier than crochet stitches in some ways. There are only 2 stitches you have to learn. There are other things you got to learn, yeah, but the basically is the knit and the purl. I teach them everything that your left hand does, or I should say your hand that holds the yarn, because I do have these for right and left-handed versions. Everything that your hand does in crochet is pretty much the same with knitting, the way I teach. And instead of holding a crochet hook, you're holding a knitting needle. Okay, it's not that hard. You do have to develop muscle memory, yes. Does that take time? It takes a few days, honestly. But if you're a seasoned crocheter, you could pick it up within, I would say 3 hours. You would be knitting. And I always start out with in the videos with large hooks. I'm sorry, large needles, large knitting needles. I like the wooden needles because the yarn does not slip off like it does off of the the metal ones. But and I use circular needles a lot. So and because they're about the size of a crochet hook. And so just to say, if you've ever wanted to try it, just there's a playlist. I put the link in the video description of the beginning knitting for crocheters playlist. And I talk slowly. I explain what I do because I had looked at so many of these knit videos and it was confusing because it's like they assume that I know more than I really do. So I don't assume that you know anything about it because I didn't know anything about it. So anyway, I just offer that to you. And the other reason I get to show you this, I got my permission from my daughter. You guys have prayed for our family. Some of you have prayed for my daughter Becky. Um, she lost her first pregnancy about a year and a half ago, but she's now in her second trimester. So we are so excited. This is going to, be, probably the first, or well, actually the first grandchild. I don't have any grandchildren currently. So we're real excited. So, and Becky has been our moderator from time to time when she can, because she's working outside now, so she doesn't have that. So thank you guys for praying for us, for praying for her, and I just humbly ask, just if you could please continue to pray for her continued safety because she does work. She works really hard at her job and it's standing a lot. So, um, but thank you guys and just wanted to update you. And we found that out around Christmas time. I just wasn't able to tell you. Um, but I can't give names. But when we found this out the very next day, we found out that another one of our children um, are expecting as well. So we have a double blessing coming, and this is like within 2 to 3 weeks apart. So um, when God blesses, He just showers blessings. And I have a verse. I have something I want to read to you today. I brought my tissue because I know I'm not going to get through it. But anyway, I just wanted to show you. And we don't know the gender. We don't know if a boy or girl. It just so happens that I had pink yarn in my stash. So just to let you know, we don't know, and it really doesn't matter to me. I'm just thrilled for my children that you know despite the sorrow, it has turned into something very very wonderful and not something we're going to take for granted because having experienced loss already. So anyway, so I was just really excited. Wanted to tell you guys that because I know you guys who stick to the bitter end are the are the tried and true in the chat. And so thank you so much. Um, we have just a few minutes here. I just want to say hey to anybody I have maybe missed. I hope, and if I did miss saying a shout out to you, it's not intentional. It's just that we often run out of time here. Um, oh, thank you, Hannah. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Becky is at work right now, but I'm gonna have her watch this, so she'll see your comments. So thank you. I can't wait for her to see. There's so much going on. I mean, um, don't know how God does it all. Yep, Hannah. I didn't mention any names, Hannah. No names were mentioned, just Becky. So, yeah, the other I don't have authority to give name and couple confirmations on the others. But anyway, um, okay. Oh, Jan, I'm so glad that you are feeling better. She says, finally feeling better after the flu. Not sick at all. Thank you. Was great on the boat. Not sick at all. Ah, praise the Lord. Good for you, honey. Wow. And Brad's mom, so good to see you in the chat from sunny Southwest Chicago suburbs. Wow, we watched a movie last night. I won't mention it because it wasn't that great, but it was filmed in Chicago, and I'm like, wow, and it looked. I knew exactly where it was because it looked just like watching while you were sleeping with the Chicago. So anyway, just thought of that. I've never been to Chicago except to switch planes at 4 o'clock in the morning at O'Hare. So I would like to go there someday. I promised my friend Lynn, and Lynn, thank you so much for your sweet flower. She sent me this beautiful little fold out flower arrangement. Isn't that lovely? Um, Lynn's my buddy. I can't wait to meet her. She's been so encouraging to our channel, like most of you have been too. I mean, it's just, but she's just exceptional with her encouragement, not just towards me, but towards everybody else. And whenever we post things of their work. She's just right there with her lavish praise. I just so appreciate her kind spirit. Um, and let's see. Yeah, Sandra says they had snow off and on all day yesterday in, is it Beaumont, California, which is about 30 minutes from Palm Springs. Wicked weather here in Southern Cal for the next couple of days. Oh dear. Oh dear. And Michelle Crochets in Kansas is in our chat, and she says she's trying to grow her channel. Well, I'll have to check that out, Michelle. I need to email me. Let's see what we can do. Um, yeah. Okay. So we have Phil. She said I heard it was snowing in Hollywood, California. Wow. That seems funny, but anyway. Um, all right. I just want to make sure. I just want to see if there's anybody new that I've not been able to get to. Yeah, Michelle, I don't know what you're looking for there, but the Michelle Crochets in Kansas. But I'd be glad to take a look at that, get to know you a little bit there. Um, and Kelly Dye says currently working on the Hills of Ireland throw, loving it so far. Yay! So we're still friends then. I know sometimes when people do those projects, and it's you're either going to love me or hate me, and I've gotten both recently. Um, so yeah, sometimes stuff happens. Actually, on that particular design, there was somebody not very happy with me, but it's because she needed to probably bone up on some of her skills. But sorry, shouldn't have said that. But anyway, uh, yeah. Um, oh, Denise Graham, it's great to have you in the chat. Um, and Cynthia Burke, thank you so much. Uh, and let's see. All right, I think I've gotten to a lot of these questions. And Lisa Turner says, love the winter white throw, halfway through it. I'm doing this type of throw, so I love doing this type of throw, so I hope you put more out soon. Lisa, I don't know how new you are to my channel, but if you go to my homepage, check out the playlist. There is a playlist that will keep you busy doing that style throws probably for the rest of your life. I mean, I have dozens just like that, or similar, using similar stitches, but they're unique. I like to think they are different from one another, but there are dozens. If you just look at the texturized throws playlist, I have a playlist for both the right-handers and the left-handers, and yeah, you'll um, yeah, there's a lot, there's a lot there. So I hope you can find those. I've been making them probably for the past, been designing them for more than 15 years now. Wow. But haven't been uploading them that long. But I do that a lot now. So, and I do hope to come out with another one this summer. So I haven't even designed it yet, but I am working on it. Always got my eye open looking for ideas. And yeah. All right. Oh, guys, thank you so much. Oh, I do see Lynn. Yay, Lynn! I finally got to your comment. Thank the Lord for you today, sister. So happy to see you. Hope hope you continue in your healing process. Yes, thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you so much. Um, and Jody says she just finished the Tree of Life Afghan and used the eyelet border on it. Saw it on the baby blanket just in time. Yeah, that's another good way to end that. For those of you who want to a super challenge. That's not my design, but I did teach it with permission from Lion Brand yarns, and it's learning. You can learn how to read a chart, uh, quite a complex chart, I might add. I take it line by line, step by step. It's a 7 video series, so it's intense. But yeah, I never could quite understand the way they finished the design. I could not interpret the directions. So you're not the only ones who get confused. I can get confused too. So I did the best, and I actually altered the final rounds to what I would do instead of what was written, because it didn't make any sense to me what was written. Oh, thank you, Beach Girl. To remind folks, if you can hit the thumbs up, that would be great. It's a little late to ask for that, but you know, that just helps the algorithm to do what it does. It is, let me see. Oh, love to craft. It's good to see you. I don't know if I saw you earlier or not. Oh, thank you, Chandra, for your kind words there. Okay, something's going on with Swati's friend. I need to figure out. I'm way behind. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, here it is. Swati says, "Can you all pray for one of my friends? She is pregnant right now and just got diagnosed with breast cancer." Oh my goodness. Oh, Swati, that's awful. Um, I will think about her when I see your name come up. I will definitely try to remember to pray for her, and I'll have Becky pray for her too. Okay, Hannah, if you could make a note on that for me to mention that to Becky, because I want her to be praying for Swati's friend. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Um, oh, Emily's in the chat. Emily Price, it's good to see you, my friend. Um, yeah, we're real excited. Cautiously excited. How's that? um, and Angie, so good to see you. And yeah, so I think I tried to get everybody, guys. I will take a look at this again once I'm done. But I do need to let some of you go, and I do need to release Hannah. And I read something today. I got my tissue ready because I know it's gonna be hard to read. But this is out of my Spurgeon morning and evening book. They have a lot of different printings on this book. It's a great book. It's for those of you who ever want to pick one of these up. It's he was a Reformed Christian preacher in the 19th century, and this morning and evening has a morning reading and an evening reading for every day of the year. I can read through this every single year, and I still find new things in it. It's just chock full of truth and great reminders. So I wanted to read this. It's a little bit lengthy, but I'm gonna try to stumble through it. I'd like to read it to you. It's based his key verse for this passage is Ezekiel 34:26, where it says, "I will cause the shower to come down in his season. There shall be showers of blessing." And these are Spurgeon's words. "Here is sovereign mercy. I will give them the shower in its season. Is it not sovereign divine mercy? For who can say, 'I will give them showers,' except God? There is only one voice which can speak to the clouds and bid them beget the rain. Who sendeth down the rain upon the earth? Who scattereth the showers upon the green herb? Do not I, the Lord? So grace is the gift of God, and is not to be created by man. It is also needed grace. What would the ground do without showers? You may break the clods, you may sow your seeds, but what can you do without the rain? And absolutely needful is the divine blessing, or as absolutely needful is the divine blessing. In vain you labor until God the plenteous shower bestows and sends salvation down. Then it is plenteous grace. I will send them showers. It does not say, I will send them drops, but showers. So it is with grace. If God gives a blessing, he usually gives it in such a measure that there is not room enough to receive it. plenteous grace. And I tell you, that's what we are feeling right now. We want plenteous grace to keep us humble, to make us prayerful, to make us holy. Plenteous grace to make us zealous, to preserve us through this life, and at last to land us in heaven. We cannot do without saturating showers of grace. Again, it is seasonable grace. I will cause the shower to come down in his season. What is thy season this morning? Is it the season of drought? Then that is the season for showers. Is it a season of great heaviness and black clouds? Then that is the season for showers. As thy days, so shall thy strength be. And here is a varied blessing. I will give thee showers of blessing. The word is in the plural. All kinds of blessings God will send. All God's blessings go together like links in a golden chain. If he gives converting grace, he will also give comforting grace. He will send showers of blessing. Look up today, O parched plant, and open thy leaves and flowers for a heavenly watering. I hope you enjoyed that. Just love the reminders of truth. I need them as much as anybody else, probably more so. But thank you guys again for praying for me this week. It was significantly felt, and I was able to get a lot of rest. And thank you so much for that. And I look forward to seeing you broadcasting next week from South Carolina. God bless. Bye bye.